The millions of Americans and businesses hoping for badly needed financial support are getting whiplash today, as the president appears to be playing games with people's futures. I don't know if Trump has been flipping a coin to decide whether to offer a financial lifeline to those out of a job and struggling to keep themselves and their families fed and sheltered, or what. But yesterday, with less than a month to go till voting ends in the presidential election, he declared he was officially calling off talks about a long-awaited coronavirus stimulus package, tweeting, "I've instructed my representatives to stop negotiating until after the election." And then, just hours later, Trump sent out another flurry of tweets calling on Congress to approve direct $1,200 payments to millions of Americans, to move quickly on more aid to small businesses, and to pass a standalone package for the airline industry. Of course, that was only after he watched the stock market tank in response to his initial tweet, and as House Speaker Nancy Pelosi reminded the administration, Republicans blocked a standalone airline aid bill just this past Friday. But despite that second round of Trump tweets, his chief of staff confirmed this morning that stimulus negotiations are in fact still off, leaving in limbo people like these who called into Boston Public Radio earlier today.
I'm the dad that brought my kids to work to do their schoolwork. Well, I got furloughed last week.
Okay.
So now that money would become useful. They just need to get over their politics and just do what's right and just help people out. You know, at the end of the day, when, you know, people are looking for money to pay their mortgages and food and insurance and all that stuff, it's just ridiculous politics.
I got laid off on the 4th of September. I've actually talked to a company this week who would like to interview me, but they're actually looking at layoffs starting next week if the stimulus package doesn't go through. I'm just frustrated with them. It's like, you got to move. You got to do something, provide something, some help.
I had finally gotten comfortable. I was a single mom, and I've been working for years to get to a place where I was stable financially. And then this happened, and all of my savings is going supporting teenagers. And it's amazing that they can't just do something.
Heartbreaking. I'm joined now by the Vice Chair of the House Democratic Caucus, Massachusetts Congresswoman Katherine Clark. Congresswoman, thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate it.
It's good to be with you, Jim.
So does the president's tweet from yesterday mean the end of any possibility of comprehensive relief getting to the American people before Election Day?
You know, we need a partner in this. We need a partner in Mitch McConnell. We need a partner in Donald Trump to get this done. And those tapes you just played are hauntingly similar to what I am hearing from the flight attendant on my flight home from Washington, who said she had just been furloughed and was crying into the speaker, thanking us for our business and for supporting her airline, for the veteran who is waiting in food lines up at the Bedford VA, for the moms who can't find childcare, who are watching their life savings just go through their fingers. This president has one job, and that is to protect the security of the American people, and he has abandoned them.
You know, Congresswoman, to make bad things even worse, he says, you know, when he wins after the election, he'll get a package done. And what that means to me, if he loses, not only will there not be relief before the election, there won't be relief after the election, and the American people would have to wait till after Inauguration Day in late January until there was any hope of relief getting to them. That is the logical conclusion, is it not?
It is. And in fact, if we are going to look at this president and all his prior actions, I don't believe if he was going to win, he is serious about a package. All he has done is downplay this virus and the economic fallout for families. He simply does not care. He doesn't see the American people. He is not interested in a solution. At the very same time we are going through this devastation and pain, he is trying to get a Supreme Court confirmation through so that he will have a justice of his choice for the oral argument to take away health care from over 20 million Americans. I have no confidence that even in a lame duck period, if he were to win, that he would give the aid to the American people they need.
And by the way, the Supreme Court hearing is on November 10th, and he has said himself, when asked about the Coney Barrett nomination, he wants her on the court because he thinks the Supreme Court is going to decide the election, and we know what we think he means. But Congresswoman, you're part of the leadership team in the House of Representatives. I understand when the House package, the HEROES Act, was $3 trillion, and Mitch McConnell's package was $500 billion. I understand Nancy Pelosi and you and your colleagues saying that's a bridge that cannot be built. However, when you guys went down to $2.2 trillion, I believe, without giving people a headache about numbers, and Treasury Secretary Mnuchin goes to Speaker Pelosi and says the White House will buy into $1.6 trillion, that difference becomes minuscule in the grand scheme of things. Isn't it more important to give the public a half a loaf and accept what the White House was offering rather than no loaf at all for months and months?
So let's be clear, Jim. We came down half because we're so desperate to get this aid to the American people. And we were in negotiations after waiting months, sitting around a negotiating table with empty chairs with the administration. But you know who's never been at that table? Mitch McConnell. I went to his office the other day and knocked on the door. There wasn't even a reception available for us to talk to. There was no aides there, no staff. And Mitch McConnell's been very clear that he is fine with letting states and local governments go bankrupt. He thinks that it is okay that we are about to have a wave of evictions and foreclosures. He thinks that it is okay that we are not following the science and coming up with a comprehensive plan to contain and eradicate this virus. We cannot have a healthy economy if we don't have healthy people. But we also can't negotiate unless we have partners in that. And this president is solely committed, and apparently Mitch McConnell is willing to go along with it just to his own power grab.
You know, speaking of McConnell, though, obviously everybody viewing knows you want Joe Biden to be the next president of the United States, Kamala Harris the vice president, and you want a Democratic majority in the Senate to meet your Democratic majority in the House. But even if Joe Biden is elected, if the Republicans maintain control of the Senate and Mitch McConnell is there, why is there any hope that there'll be relief even after January 20th when a President Biden was sworn in? The same logjam will continue just with a different guy in the White House, right?
Listen, we are going to do everything we can with however the American people speak about this. But I tell you why I think that Mitch McConnell is going to lose his majority. It is because there is a complete disconnect between the work of the Senate and what the American people need. And this was even pre-pandemic. We have sent over 400 bills, the vast majority bipartisan, that are collecting dust. We have a president who has never acknowledged the 210,000 Americans who've lost their lives. You would think, after his experience over the past week with his own diagnosis and illness and hospitalization, that he would come to have some empathy, that Mitch McConnell would be speaking out about the people of Kentucky. But instead, we are met with silence. They do not care. It is chaos and callousness that is ruling the day. And that is why I think they are going to be voted out. The American people need people who are going to fight for them, who will see them, and are going to help.
I have only 30 seconds left, Katherine Clark, and I just satisfy my curiosity. When you're talking to a Republican friend in the House and you say, what do you really think? I assume you asked this. What do you really think about Trump pulling off his mask on the balcony? What do you really think about that super spreader event when Judge Coney Barrett was nominated? Quickly, what do they say to you?
You know, some will be candid, that they think the president is wrong-headed. and that we need to be following the science, and that we need to be resecuring the health of the American people. But most of them avoid the question, avoid your glance, because they know this is not an administration that is truthful. It is not an administration that is working for the American people, and they have put their belief and faith in this. When Kamala Harris takes the stage tonight, we are going to see a restoration of truth, of character, and making sure that we get people back to a healthy place so we can rebuild a healthy, inclusive economy.
Good luck to you, Congresswoman, and much more importantly, good luck to us. It's good to see you. Enjoy the debate tonight.
Good to see you, Jim.